Hey, what's up? If you've ever sat down for a movie or song and thought, this should feel bigger, then listen, because after using the R-100SW every day for weeks, I can tell you exactly what you've been missing. Before we dig in, take a quick moment to check the current price in stock. Subwoofers like this don't hang around at com tags forever, and knowing where it stands right now actually matters when you're deciding. You know the feeling. You're watching that big action scene or dropping a beat in your favorite track and the sound just exists but it doesn't hit. You turn the volume up, you tweak your settings, you hope for depth, but it never truly arrives. That's the subtle frustration of settling. You've lived with it so long you don't even realize it anymore. Until you don't have to. Power this subwoofer on for the first time and everything changes. It's not about turning the volume higher, it's about feeling the sound. That 10-inch driver and all-digital amplifier don't just produce bass, they place it where you notice it, deep, tight, and controlled. When a score builds or a rumble hits, you don't just hear it. You feel it in your chest. That moment is what transforms watching or listening from fine to immersive. And here's the thing, it's not just loud. It's precise. You'll notice detail you didn't even realize was missing because before, everything low-end was just muddled and flat. Now, vocals stay crisp. Music gets warmed. Explosions don't blur into noise, they hit with purpose. That shift alone makes you realize how much impact deep, controlled bass adds to every scene. Take another moment to glance at the price and availability. Once people feel real bass in their own room, systems like this get snapped up and prices shift fast. If you're sitting there wondering whether you really need this much bass power, that's totally normal. Most of us get used to built-in speakers or tiny subwoofers that just pretend to deliver low-end. But once you actually feel what depth sounds like, not just hear it, your whole standard for audio changes. What once sounded acceptable suddenly feels like compromise. One thing that surprised me? How balanced it feels even when pushed. You get deep lows without losing mid-range clarity. Dialogue stays clear. Music stays lively. That balance is what makes everyday listening more enjoyable. Not just big movie nights. You feel sound fill the room instead of just the speakers. You enjoy bass that enhances, not muddles. You trust your system to deliver full impact. You notice depth you didn't realize was missing. You relax into audio that finally feels right. Yes, a dedicated subwoofer like this isn't the tiniest addition to your setup, and dialing in crossover and placement takes a bit of attention, but at a certain point, you stop bouncing between comparison tabs and just choose the option that feels right. Don't let this be one of those upgrades you push off and quietly regret later when you realize how much fuller everything could have sounded. Check the price, see if it's in stock, and make that move with confidence. Once you experience real, controlled bass in your own space, anything weaker will feel like a compromise you don't want anymore.